At this moment, the second legion of the Holy Temple of several hundred knights were like a long dragon, grandly entered the trail in the middle of the Forgotten Canyon. Leading them was the legion commander, Reinhardt, who raised his sword high and declared firmly, "Today, we must eliminate those from the witch's cult." The other knights of the Holy Temple rallied to their legion commander's words. Just then, under the flying snow, two thin figures appeared on the path ahead. Reinhardt, ever vigilant, narrowed his eyes slightly. These figures were Lin Luo and Dark Kagaya. Lin Luo bowed slightly and said, "Commander, I bring the latest intelligence from the camp ahead." Reinhardt looked at Dark Kagaya wearing black armor next to Lin Luo and silently thought, "The Destined One also brings a heroic spirit with him? It's really rare." Surprised to encounter a Chosen One accompanied by a heroic spirit in this place, he flipped several gold coins in his hand and said, "Adventurer, share what you know. I will reward you based on the importance of the information." Lin Luo respectfully replied, "Actually, my attendant discovered this intelligence. It would be better for her to report to you." As Dark Kagaya approached Reinhardt without permission, he frowned slightly and he hastily reprimanded her, scolding in a low voice to stay there and report. "Don't come any closer." However, before he could finish, Dark Kagaya suddenly exerted force on her feet, and suddenly like lightning, she slashed at the hoof of the white horse under his crotch. Reinhardt, worthy of being the commander of the Second Legion, leaped from his horse almost instantaneously and made the wise decision to abandon the horse. Reinhardt unsheathed his sword and took a stance, asking Lin Luo who he was. At that moment, a strange voice echoed as he stared at Lin Luo's eyes, "You will be immobilized for 3 seconds." Reinhardt felt an invisible force suppressing him, helplessly watching Dark Kagaya strike him repeatedly. His power was being plundered by Dark Kagaya's frenzied blade as multiple notifications rang excessively. Your substitute Dark Kagaya, Dark Emperor Lady Kagaya form against Reinhardt activated the marauding blade. Successfully captured 2,410 points of fighting spirit. Your substitute Dark Kagaya, Dark Emperor Lady Kagaya form activated Raising Blade against Reinhardt. Successfully captured fighting skill, Flame Devouring Wave Sword of 30% power. Your substitute Dark Kagaya, Dark Emperor Lady Kagaya form against Reinhardt activated Blade of Plunder. Successfully captured Master Sword skill of 30% power. Reinhardt continuously felt Dark Kagaya's blade and suddenly, Reinhardt's eyes widened as he looked towards Lin Luo's Master of Wishes. Sensing the binding power emanating from the scholar holding a book, he erupted in golden fighting energy, knowing the controlling force wouldn't last long. Other knights of the Holy Temple rushed to rescue their commander, but were repelled by Lin Luo's whirlwind sword aura. After 3 seconds, Reinhardt regained control of his body, sweeping his sword to force Dark Kagaya back. He glared at Lin Luo with fury, "Despicable assassin of the witch's cult. Face me in an honorable fight if you dare, instead of sending these heroic spirits to ambush me." To his surprise, Lin Luo sheathed his blade and opened his arms wide, leaving himself open, and said, "Very well, come at me." Reinhardt was slightly taken aback, unsure of Lin Luo's intentions, but his sword did not hesitate, slashing towards Lin Luo with surging golden fighting energy. Just inches from Lin Luo's head, an invisible force halted his sword, and a majestic voice thundered, "I am the Savior, who dares to challenge my majesty?" Behind Lin Luo was Savior's towering figure with 2 wings rising up. Reinhardt's heart was engulfed in a storm of shock and disbelief. Aren't Chosen Ones only able to contract with 1 heroic spirit? How many does this make now? Lin Luo's lips curled into a cruel smile as he said, "I wish for you to be immobilized for the next second." As soon as Lin Luo made his wish, Savior's slender arm casually shot up, and transparent spatial waves appeared around Reinhardt's head. With a soft command from Savior, Reinhardt's body began to twist and distort within these spatial fluctuations until his entire body was completely swallowed up, leaving only his scattered armor behind. At the tomb of the heroic spirits, the Lich Bride and Necromancer, watching through the water mirror ball, were dumbfounded. What the hell? What is happening? Could it be that the witch's cult sent an envoy to help us? Then why didn't we receive the notice and sent in dead monsters to kill him? Isn't this a mistake? The Lich Bride was silent for a moment, and then said in a daze, "I didn't receive the notice either. It seems the higher-ups were worried that we were no match for these Imperial Eagle dogs, so they secretly sent a messenger." Pondered the Necromancer with a sinister chuckle. "We can now comfortably refine the bones of those heroes. After all, mourners' ashes are very important." The Lich Bride agreed, replying, "You're right." And with the commander of the Holy Temple dead, We should welcome this envoy. Meanwhile, chaos erupted in the valley. The death of their Legion commander drove the Holy Temple Knights into a frenzy, and they charged madly at Lin Luo and his substitutes. But how could they stand a chance against Dark Kagaya? In moments, they were all cut down, leaving only their corpses behind. Dark Kagaya sheathed her sword nonchalantly, leaving the NPC knights from the player faction dead, a feat that yielded little experience but no loot. However, it was necessary to collect enough mourner's ashes. The system again notifies Lin Luo, "Congratulations player, your substitute Dark Kagaya, Dark Emperor Lady Kagaya form killed Reinhardt, and you gained 5,760,000 experience points. Killing NPCs above level 8 will gain 900% experience points. Wish to fight 100 battles effect also gain 200% experience points by killing monsters." Seeing another wave of Holy Temple Knights preparing to charge, Lin Luo decided to find a place to hide, and also instructs Dark Kagaya to do the same, as these remaining knights posed little threat to the witch's cult. He planned to wait for the two sides to engage in real combat before reaping them. Just then, the ground in front of him churned, and an undead emerged, surprising him. Speaking infrequently, the undead proceeds to say, "Distant envoy, the witch's cult invites you to the Tomb of Heroes. Leave these remaining Imperial Eagle dogs to us to handle." Lin Luo had intended to hide and let them fight each other, but it seemed his actions had been misinterpreted by the witch's cult. Accepting the situation, Lin Luo replied for the undead to lead the way. As the undead led him through the Forgotten Canyon, Lin Luo silently hoping this turn of events in this secret realm would bring unexpected merits. Soon, Lin Luo and his substitutes arrived at the entrance of the Tomb of Heroes, where the Lich Bride and several necromancers were waiting. Staring at the mages, Lin Luo confidently thought that as a legendary assassin, he could kill them 1,000 times over in an instant if he got close. As a result, he would have directly clear the secret realm. But let's get started first and see what the ashes of the deceased are and where they are kept. The Lich Bride broke the silence atmosphere with her charming and moving, silver bell voice. "Honored envoy, thank you for your assistance. Have you brought any important orders?" Lin Luo felt a sense of resignation, thinking, "What orders? Didn't you bring me here?" Realizing it was time to act, Lin Luo feigned a cough in an intense manner, playing his role perfectly. What else could it be? "How well have you done what the higher-ups tasked you with?" A necromancer stepped forward respectfully. "Dear envoy, after 10 days of rituals, we have preliminarily completed the refinement of the Frost Giant Dragon." With an authoritative command, Lin Luo requested them to take him to see it. He then waved his hand, signaling them to lead the way. "Then please, honored envoy, come with me." The Lich Bride, slightly puzzled, led the way to the underground chamber of the Tomb of Heroes. The walls along the corridor were lit with everlasting burning lamps, casting bright light and illuminating the narrow corridor in front and around them. The group fell silent for a while, leaving only the clear sound of footsteps echoing through the passageway. The atmosphere turned oppressive and somber. Soon, they reached an underground hall, where the light was dimmer and the temperature had dropped significantly. Turning around, the Lich Bride said, "Honored envoy, this is it." When Lin Luo walked in, he was surprised at what he was staring at. In the middle of the hall, there was a large circle of numerous necromancers in black robes, and in their midst, a massive frost giant dragon was securely chained. The massive frost giant dragon made of bones is as tall as 3 or 4 people just lying down, and the bone spurs on its back are reaching the top of the hall. Lin Luo immediately assessed that once awakened, the dragon would be a level 40 boss, not something ordinary level 30 to 35 players could easily handle. Pretending to be satisfied, Lin Luo nodded and asked, "You've worked hard. How much longer will it take to finish refining the frost giant dragon?" The higher-ups are getting impatient. One of the necromancers, eager to please, replied, "Honored envoy, it will take approximately 2 more days to completely refine the frost giant dragon. We were worried about the arrival of the Second Legion of the Holy Temple, but with your help, we can now refine it without concerns." Lin Luo noncommittally nodded, realizing that the frost giant dragon wasn't originally a boss of this secret realm unless the players entering are too weak. Giving the witch's cult enough time to refine the frost giant dragon, the outcome would be deadly. Turning to the waiting necromancers, Lin Luo inquired, "Where's the mourner's ash? I expended a lot of energy in the recent battle and need to replenish." The necromancers hesitated, one of them cautiously saying, "Honored envoy, the mourner's ash is a crucial ingredient in refining the frost giant dragon. We have used most of it already." Although slightly confused, Lin Luo sternly said, Isn't replenishing my energy important? Bring me the remaining ashes. The necromancers quickly brought 6 black wooden boxes containing a gray crystalline powder. As Lin Luo took some, he felt a surge of mystical power replenishing his substitute energy. A system notification informed him that 1 portion of Mourner's Ash could slowly restore 100 points of energy. He had spent over 380 points just to defeat the Holy Temple's commander, and there were only 6 portions here, hardly a profitable exchange. Disappointed, Lin Luo asked, "Can we continue producing Mourner's Ash?" The Lich Bride, who had been standing quietly, spoke, "Honored envoy, producing Mourner's Ash would delay the refinement of the Frost Giant Dragon." Lin Luo, undeterred, declared, "Halt the refinement of the Frost Giant Dragon. Prioritize producing Mourner's Ash for me. But don't worry, as long as you diligently produce the amount I need, you can continue with your original task." The necromancers exchanged glances, clearly hesitant as their new directive contradicted their main task. Lin Luo, giving them no time to ponder, sternly demanded, "Are you defying orders?" And just like that, Dark Emperor and Lady Kagaya, standing behind him, subtly moved forward. The necromancers quickly apologized and hurried off to gather their subordinates, instructing them to pause their current tasks and start producing Mourner's Ash for Lin Luo, who nodded in satisfaction. However, unbeknownst to Lin Luo, the Lich Bride quietly left the hall amidst the flurry of activity and commotion. She went to a dimly lit tomb chamber and activated a teleportation circle. From the circle emerged a dark figure accompanied by a hoarse-chilling voice. "Is there a problem on your end? Why contact me now?" The Lich Bride respectfully explained, "My lord, please forgive the interruption. There's no issue here. In fact, thanks to your help, we have repelled the Empire's hounds." The dark figure paused before asking, "What help?" A sense of dread grew in the Lich Bride's heart. "Wasn't it you who sent a chosen one to assist us?" She quickly produced a crystal ball showing Lin Luo's image. This man, with his heroic spirits, defeated the Holy Temple's knights. He's now directed us to stop refining the Frost Giant Dragon and produce Mourner's Ash for him. After another long silence, the Shadow replied, "I don't know this person, and he's not a member of our witches' cult. But killing the Empire's people suggests he's an enemy of the Empire. Invite him to join the witches' cult." The Lich Bride, puzzled, asked, "He's an unknown entity. Shouldn't we eliminate him?" The Shadow responded slowly, "The enemy of our enemy is our friend. If he only wants Mourner's Ash, give him as much as he needs." Unaware of his exposure, Lin Luo continued to oversee the work while learning about their refinement process. He noticed that the bodies dragged out from the coffins still retained some energy, which the necromancers harnessed to produce Mourner's Ash. On average, they could refine 1 portion per hour. As long as these necromancers kept up their efforts, Lin Luo would soon achieve his goal of energy independence. Just then, the Lich Bride approached Lin Luo, who immediately scolded her. "Where did you go slacking off? Get back to work. Don't think you can slack just because you have a good figure." The Lich Bride, amused, looked at Lin Luo seductively and asked, "Who are you, really? What is your purpose in infiltrating our ranks?" Lin Luo's heart skipped a beat, realizing he had been exposed. He calmly responded, "I didn't infiltrate. Weren't you the ones who insisted on bringing me here?" The Lich Bride fell silent, realizing they had jumped to conclusions. Lin Luo had never claimed to be part of the witches' cult. Her tone shifted back to being sultry and persuasive. Reprimanding herself, curtsying, she said, "I am the Lich Bride, serving under the witches' cult's Witch of Desire. How may I address you?" Lin Luo stood up and slowly said, "You can call me Dark Emperor." The Lich Bride, recalling her memories, found no record of such a powerful figure. Nevertheless, she quickly replied, "Since the Empire is our common enemy, why don't we join forces? Our witch cult has plenty of Mourner's Ash. If you agree to visit us, we can offer you a substantial amount." Lin Luo was surprised by this unexpected plot twist. Usually, after defeating a boss, the storyline would end, but this narrative seemed to extend further, an occurrence he hadn't encountered before. If he really went to the witch's cult for the Ash, he worried about being trapped. He wasn't confident enough to single-handedly take on the entire witch's cult. After pondering for a moment, Lin Luo replied, "You can refine some more Mourner's Ash for me. As for visiting the witch cult, let's talk about it after you complete my required amount." The Lich Bride hesitated and then asked, "How much do you need?" Lin Luo casually held up 2 fingers and said, "I just need 20 portions." The Witch Bride hastily shook her head and said, "It's too late now. You killed the leader of the Holy Temple army this afternoon. The Empire must have already sent masters over." We need to immediately resume the refining of the frost giant dragon and can't waste any more time helping you refine the bone ashes of the deceased. Lin Luo frowned slightly at the Lich Bride's urgency. What's there to fear? If the Empire's elites come, I'll handle them. Just focus on refining the mourner's ash for me, he insisted. However, the Lich Bride firmly disagreed this time. With all due respect, the ones coming will be experts with at least 3 class advancements. They're not in our league. I'm sorry, but we can't continue refining the mourner's ash for you. Lin Luo was taken aback by her stubbornness. Finding the necromancers easier to deceive, he sighed inwardly and slowly approached her, feigning agreement. You make a good point. I agree to go back to the witch's cult with you. Suddenly, Lin Luo drew his blade, activating his fighting skill, flame-devouring wave sword, infinite sword chi, and thrust the blade into her body. Lin Luo whispered in her ear, saying, "But you'll have to wait until your next life for that to happen. Congratulations to the player. You killed the Lich Bride, gained 3,640,000 experience points. You gained 700% experience points for killing NPCs above level 6. Wish 100 battles affect killing monsters will also gain 200% experience points." Multiple whirlwind sword auras erupted from within her as the surrounding necromancers screamed in horror. Someone come quick. He's not an envoy. He's an assassin. Lin Luo calmly pulled out his blade and commanded Dark Emperor and Lady Kagaya to take them down. And just like that, the 2 substitutes begun to wreak havoc, deleting necromancers left and right. Suddenly, a deep green bandage tightly wound around Lin Luo, restraining him. A black-robed necromancer crackled and said, "You're trapped in my death bind. Assassin, you're done for." Lin Luo, unimpressed, easily shattered the peculiar bandage with a burst of strength. Sending the necromancer flying, the necromancer looked at Lin Luo in horror. "You're just an assassin. Why didn't my death bind work on you?" At that moment, the ground began to tremble violently. Lin Luo leaped backward, saying, "What's going on with this vibration? Could it be?" His words were cut off as an elderly necromancer, in a fit of rage, exclaimed, "With my life as the medium resurrect, frost giant dragon, destroy this despicable assassin." The skeleton of the frost giant dragon seemed to be infused with a soul at this moment. Lin Luo stared at its massive body as it suddenly rose from the ground, staring at the frost giant dragon with a shocked expression. At this moment, its attribute panel immediately appeared in front of Lin Luo. A frost dragon with an incomplete status, level 35 with attack power of 480, agility 89 with defense of 520, health value of 90,000 and experience value of 360,000. It also has 3 skills, which are the Frost Breath, which sprays extremely cold dragon breath, causing 600 to 950 points of magic damage to the target, and cause slow movement. However, due to the incomplete state, activating the skill will consume the health of Frost Dragon. A Crushing Claw attack which also kill prey ferociously, causing 500 to 600 points of physical damage, and suppress targets with insufficient strength. And finally, a Dragon Roar which stuns targets with insufficient willpower and reduces the target's combat effectiveness by 10% to 20%. Since it was forcibly awakened, the Frost Giant Dragon was in a weakened state. Lin Luo felt relieved when he saw the properties of this panel. Though it looked formidable, but its strength was not much stronger than the previously defeated monster commander. Lin Luo immediately ordered Lady Kagaya to kill the old Necrocaster, while he and Dark Emperor charged at the Frost Giant Dragon. Upon seeing these 2 challengers, the Frost Giant Dragon let out a ferocious roar of dragon's might, followed by a wide-range Frost Breath attack towards them. Lin Luo, surrounded by dense whirlwind sword aura, instantly shattered the icy breath. Dark Emperor, standing beside him, crossed his arms and bore the brunt of the attack. Seizing the opportunity, Lin Luo leaped into the air and fiercely struck the giant dragon's head with his sword, smashing it into the ground. Dark Emperor quickly joined in, bombarding the dragon's face with countless punches. The Frost Giant Dragon, heavily injured, opened its mouth attempting to counterattack, was again suppressed by a river of sword energy formed by numerous whirlwind sword auras. Its head, just beginning to rise, was pressed down once more. At this moment, Lady Kagaya also swiftly moved to kill the old Necro with a fierce stab, piercing him through with precision and unwavering movements. Lin Luo immediately instructed Lady Kagaya to join the attack on the dragon. The Frost Giant Dragon, overwhelmed by the trio, had no chance to open its mouth for another attack and soon died miserably in this underground tomb. Congratulations to the player for defeating the Frost Giant Dragon. You have gained 6,480,000 experience points. Killing NPCs above level 8, you gain 900% experience points. Wish Hunter battles affect killing monsters also gain 200% experience points. Congratulations to the player for advancing to level 28. Announced the system, Lin Luo, looking at the enormous dragon corpse, gasped heavily and thought, this big guy had an incredibly thick health bar, but for the rewards, it's all worth it. First, he allocated all the attribute points from leveling up to agility, raising it from 218 to 222. Then, he put all his skill points into all swords returned to origin. By continually enhancing this skill, he could minimize its consumption. Reaching a realm where sword energy could regenerate endlessly would even significantly increase his attack frequency. Next, it was time to collect the spoils of battle. Lin Luo wondered what treasures the frost giant dragon might yield. He then plunged his hand into the dragon's body to search and soon pulled out a long sword emanating waves of cold air from the dragon's spine. Examining the sword in his hand, Lin Luo praised his find. Incredible, I never expected a diamond-level longsword. Fortune really favors me. He immediately checked the sword's attributes. Sword Heart of Oblivion. Its quality is a rare diamond grade with restricted level of 27, and has a restricted occupation under melee second turn occupations with an attack power of plus 289. Critical hit rate of plus 15% with its damage of plus 20, attack speed of plus 20%, and an armor break which ignored target 10% physical defense. It also has a slash frost skill, and with that each attack reduces the enemy's agility by 2%, lasting for 5 seconds, and can be stacked up to 15 times. A whale active skill which activate the resentment of frost dragon in the sword, causing hesitation effect to enemies within a radius of 5 meters, and cooling time of 1 hour. And finally, a skill called the hesitation effect which temporarily stop attacking the target. Lin Luo was all smiles after checking the sword's stats. Not only was its attack power over 200 points higher than his previous Guardian short blade, but the skills it came with were also well suited for him. He hadn't expected such high-level equipment from this secret realm of this level. Without any hesitation, Lin Luo replaced the Guardian short blade with the Heart of Oblivion. Considering any delay of disrespect to such a divine artifact, the appearance of the Heart of Oblivion filled Lin Luo with anticipation for the upcoming loot. He quickly searched through the dragon's corpse, finding various high-level potions, magic scrolls, several pieces of superior equipment, and a substantial amount of coins. One item, named Horn of the Frost Giant Dragon, could summon a level 35 boss to fight for him. He had only seen such an item in the game's auction house in his previous life, worth at least tens of millions of dollars. Before leaving, Lin Luo glanced at the corpse of the Lich Bride and coldly said, "Next time I come, don't slack off. You should have been refining the ashes of the dead properly, then you wouldn't have died so quickly. Let's go. It's time to find our next plunder target." Less than an hour after Lin Luo left the dungeon, Lu Yu, who had parted ways with Yute Jia and others, arrived at the entrance. Seeing the dungeon's clearance time on the screen, he was infuriated, having missed his chance again, and it was still the Dark Emperor who was ahead of him. At that moment, his desire to kill Lin Luo reached an unprecedented height. Meanwhile, in the Supervision Bureau's building on the second floor, the doorway of a room was surrounded by armed inspectors. Inside, a young man named Guat, holding a notebook, trembled in a corner. He had awakened an S-ranked talent, Simulated Future, on the second day of the Universal Awakening and received an S-ranked Substitute Future diary. He could present the predicted future in textual form in his diary. Guat believed he would become the true protagonist of the era, with the ability to foresee the future. However, the first time he used Simulated Future, his diary wrote, "When you read this, I am already dead." On the 4th day of the fog lockdown, while calculating how to distribute the remaining food in my room, a strange man with a beautiful girl and maid attire burst into my house. After confirming I was Guat, the beautiful girl killed me without a second word. I don't want to die. I must change this deadly fate. After reading the content in the diary, Guat angrily threw the diary on the ground. Unable to understand why someone would want to kill him, especially in a society governed by law. The future diary emitted a faint glow, as if communicating something to its owner. Guat quickly lay on the ground, looking at the future diary, and spoke loudly, "There must be a mistake. Future diary resimulate a path for my survival. In a scenario where I foresee this event, when they break into my room, I immediately deny being Guat. but the man still orders that detestable woman to kill me. Sweating profusely, but still not giving up, Guat continued his simulations. They break into my room again. I resist with a kitchen knife. Then I die. At this point, Guat is having a mental meltdown, screaming, "Can I even escape if I can't confront them?" Before the fog lockdown, I fled to Magic City. Then the fog arrived, and terrifying monsters roamed outside the fog. You shouldn't be able to find me this time, right? Then the doorbell rang. I went to the door, and suddenly a sharp pain pierced my chest. A long sword impaled my heart. I died, completely breaking down. Tears silently fell from Guat's eyes. Is begging for mercy on my knees also useless? He can track my location. Running away is futile. This time, I open my room to welcome them. In their surprised expressions, I choose to kneel before them, crying and begging them not to kill me. Then I die. Guat was in complete and utter despair. No matter how many times he simulated, the result always led to a dead end. Even escaping to the Supervision Bureau with armed protection was of no use. So, he made his last simulation. Tonight, the glass doors of the Supervision Bureau lobby are shattered by monsters. Terrifying monsters rush in. I make a final effort and jump from the second floor. I finally see him. Those occult creatures are also under his control. I die. My regret is not dying under the knife of that beautiful girl, but under the fists of a man in black armor. Just as Guat finished reading his diary, the window above him was smashed by several insect creatures. Holding his head in his hands, Guat momentarily shut his eyes, knowing that the person coming to kill him had arrived. Looking through the broken window, he could vaguely see two mysterious figures on the rooftop opposite, observing him. These two were Lin Luo and Master of Wishes. The insect creatures that had just invaded the Supervision Bureau were a result of Lin Luo's wish to Master of Wishes. At that moment, Lin Luo noticed someone jumping from the second floor. He smiled slightly and said, "Master of Wishes, the target has appeared. Let the insect stop." After speaking, he summoned Dark Emperor and Lady Kagaya and led them towards the alley where Guat had fled. Oddly, Guat showed no fear upon seeing them. Instead, his face revealed a sense of relief, as if he had been waiting for them. He slowly said, "Your substitute is truly beautiful, even more than I imagined." Lin Luo frowned slightly and asked, "What do you mean? You knew I was coming?" "Yes, my talent allowed me to foresee your arrival, but I really don't know what I did to offend you." Lin Luo muttered, "Foresight? A remarkable talent." Guat didn't hear Lin Luo's murmur and, holding the future diary, said resignedly, "Though foresight sounds like a great talent, I find it more of a curse." Spurting a mouthful of blood, Guat continued that aside from preempting dungeon rewards, it offers no enhancement to combat power, and the content of the future diary is unchangeable. Isn't that a curse? I'm tired and don't want to resist anymore. Resisting the insects in the Supervision Bureau already left me severely injured. I don't care who you are now, nor why you want to kill me. I only wish that you would let that beautiful girl be the one to end my life. Lin Luo, encountering such a situation for the first time, thought this is all too bizarre for him. But to be cautious of any deceit, he didn't follow Guat's request and instead chose to have Dark Emperor do it. Guat looked at Dark Emperor approaching him and let out his last sigh. In the end, I'm to die under the fists of the man in black armor. Fate is indeed predetermined. With a loud bang, Guat died under the iron fist of Dark Emperor, deleting his short but expected end. After Guat's death, the system notification appeared. To activate your S-level talent Plunder, please choose one of the 4 target attribute values, talent effects, skill effects, and soul power to plunder. Lin Luo immediately crouched down and chose to use his plunder talent on him. Smiling, he checked the attributes of the new talent he had acquired: simulated future, S-rank talent, effect, textual simulation of the future in the future diary based on the host's subjective decisions and choices, no cooldown time needed. An S-level substitute, future diary with strength and agility of 0, 10 for normal people, a defensive 1 with unknown intelligence, HP of 500 with growth of 170, energy of 200 with energy recovery speed of 1 point per hour, an action distance of 0, and has a skill, carrying the future, which the deduced future can be presented in the form of text in the diary, which can only be viewed by the host. Future diary also has a skill to deduce the future within 1 day, which consume 1 energy point at a time. To deduce the future within 2 days, consume 2 energy points at a time. To deduce the future within 3 days, consume 4 energy points at a time. To deduce the farther future, Each time for one more day, the energy consumption is multiplied by 2 times. And finally, the basic consumption only displays the most important events in the deduced future. It is necessary to display the details of the deduced future, and the energy consumption is doubled. No cooldown time. Realizing that this was a talent that required a substitute to use, Lin Luo immediately summoned a new substitute, the Future Diary, which appeared as an ordinary notebook. As Lin Luo instructed, text began to appear on the pages, and he felt his energy draining. I am Lin Luo. When you read this, I am already dead. Before my second visit to the Tomb of Tears, I encountered a young man claiming to be the modern celestial master, Lu Yu. He attacked without a word. I didn't indulge him, but unexpectedly, neither I nor Dark Emperor were his match. In the end, I was killed by a bolt of lightning. I don't want to die. I must change this death. Lin Luo's face changed slightly as he read the words. I plan to tackle the Tomb of Tears tomorrow afternoon. Does this mean I'll die then? How is that possible?